I hope you are enjoying the course thus far. For this use case, I have simulated a data set, and that is what you can see right here in this Excel. As you can see, it has this certain number of columns. You can see the rows is very huge. There are duplicate data there, but we are not after the quality of data. Actually, it's about the solution we want to build. So as you can see, we have this. I also have this same data in a database, and check as well. Within the same database, I have this data. I can open it up and check the first 1000 rows, as you can see right here. And when it comes to building your solution, you can either connect to this data in the database or connect to CSV. It might take us some time to show you how to actually do it with this database, but let's just connect to CSV, or I might show you both in the Jupyter Notebook. In the next video, we will take our time, put up Jupyter Notebook, and start writing our first lines of code to read the data and exploit further. See you. I have created a project folder on my desktop called ML on Twitter. It is advised that you do similar thing, and my data set is right in this folder. I have also followed the instructions to install Jupyter Notebook, Anaconda, Visual Studio Code, and all the applications required for this course. To launch your Jupyter Notebook, for beginners without writing code, just go to your Windows key on your keyboard. It will pop up something, then type Jupyter. Before you even finish spelling it, you will see it right there. Then click on it. By default, it will launch your browser and open up Jupyter Notebook. Then you have to navigate to exact folder where your project is. Ours is on the desktop and is ML on Twitter. Right there, you see at the top right there, I have to click on New Python 3. You select Python 3. It opens in a new tab, and you see that Jupyter Notebook environment where we can write our code and build our model. If you can see this, wow, congratulations to you. In the next video, we will write simple syntax within this notebook before we start exploring our data. See you. Welcome back. It is time to explore, this environment. As you can see, is more or less user-friendly within the browser. We'll be using Python programming within this code, and more or less just follow through and type and follow the instruction. This way you will get to understand them as you continue to use them. First, I'm going to write print, open brackets, put quotes here, hello world, and say hello world. Then I'm going to use Shift Enter. Wow, do you see that? I pressed Shift Enter to run this code and open a new cell for me where I can type. If I say print and I put my name here and I say Ola, then I press Control Enter, it's going to run it, but do you observe that there is no new line for me to work with? How do you generate new line here? By pressing Escape B. Escape B will create a new line below. I press escape key and B means below, and say this place. Alright, so I'm going to press escape A. It's going to create new line but above. Escape A, you see new line above. Alright, let's talk about comment and markdown. I'm going to use this and say beginner and type beginner. So this beginner machine learning. If I come here to this code, you will see code area, you see code, you see markdown, you see heading. Markdown is a way of writing a low language, which is more or less like English, but you can use it to do several other things within Jupyter Notebook. I'm outside it. So I'm going to turn this to markdown. And as you can see right here, this is, I've given a space now. You see it's big. If you go here and just click on help, you will see this thing called keyboard shortcuts, and when you click on it, you can see a lot of shortcuts that can be helpful for you, not just the shortcut, but so that you can understand what is possible within this notebook. In the next video, we will import our data and start the real work. Thank you. Let's start the project by importing libraries, and I'll be importing them one by one as we need them. The first is pandas, and I'm shortening it as PD, which is the alias. I'm going to run the code. It's done. Then type it as well. The next is I'm creating a variable, say data. my data set Excel is called card data. This is the Excel extension, and I'm using this panda here saying pd.read_excel. So this will read that Excel file and throw it inside the variable called data. This might take some time to load because we have over 100,000 records of data. Once it is done, the next thing to do is data.add with a description of the top 5 records from this data. As you can see, this is the table. Now let's start explore our data. Let's do visualization. Let's do statistics summary of this data, and I'm going to make use of this library from Rising or Degwa called DataSist. So the first thing to do is to type this command without the hash and run it. It will install the DataSist on your system. I've installed it already, so I'm going to move here and import it. Then with this simple instruction ds.structdata.describe, it will run descriptive summary on our data. It's showing us the heading of the data, a lot of things about this data, so take your time to explore this as well. Also, let's create visualization with this library as very simple single line of code, and it will do a lot of visualization for you. Fantastic. Do you see? By default is creating this chart, and for you is to explore and ask questions. And lastly, ds.visualization for more or less a cluster graph. Okay, you see a lot of additional more graphs are also here. Go through this, study it, look at those lines of code, ask questions, and in the next video we will go into feature engineering and building our model. What we've just done here is to show you this is what data science does. They do this. It can even take them a lot of time because we want to understand this data very well, but we've been able to run through it just to show you that process before we move on to the next.